7:30 a.m. A big pile of snow. Looks kind of quiet out there, T-Rex. Think we can head outdoors. We've got dripping. The Snow Mountain report, Stowe Mountain Snow report said it's 38 degrees down here and about 30 up at the top of the mountain. And we're dry, which is nice. Look, the ground is dry. Now these are heated pavers. Last night, as the sun was going down, it was snowing really hard. We picked up a couple of quick inches of snow, and they did actually plow and treat the parking lots around here. And it's real wet now. Perfect snowman snow. So it's amazing. Here's the garden, how quickly it melts around here, even though up top there's still about 5 feet of snow. And that 5 feet of snow up top is very cold and it's very dry. So it's going to absorb this rain. And as the dew point comes up, it's just going to turn into this huge, like, fog. You know, if you get your dew point coming up into the 30s and your ground temperature is in the 20s, and especially with precipitation around, fog is going to be a big deal. But it's quiet right now. There you can see where that path was plowed. Yeah, I was just showing the New England Outdoor Center cam that's around Lake Millinocket and Katahdin, where this morning, here's another view. It was still snowing, and that makes today day 65 in a row with snow somewhere in New England. Amazing. And so even though it's going to rain hard late today and tonight, it's going to change back to snow before ending tomorrow. And break for birds, right? Chickadee on the birch bark. Where'd he go? He just blended and disappeared. So it's quiet. It's going to be a nice morning in Groomers. The question is it going to be sticky? Here's the regional temperature map. As the sun was coming up, you can see it's already 45 to 50. Boston to Cape Cod, Rhode Island, winds are gusting 20 to 30. But you still have some pockets of calm air around here with a temperature of 32 in Vermont and even in the 20s in parts of Maine. So it was sort of warm front number 1 last night. Warm front number 2 is going to be today. Warm front number 3 is going to be tonight. It is a super storm in the middle of the nation with blizzard conditions, atmospheric chaos on the chase there in northeastern Kansas. What a name. Chaos indeed. Blizzard conditions this morning continue. I think I counted 6 states first thing in the morning with still the blizzard warning from northeastern Kansas all the way up to even the upper peninsula of Michigan, separated a little bit there, in a blizzard warning this morning. So the storm is all it could be, and the weekend is still a moving target for us in New England, and as if this next 2 days weren't enough. And then next week, there's another superstorm forecast by the GFS, almost the same place as this one, and perhaps even stronger. All right, I'm going to see how close I can get to this chickadee now. I'm going skiing. I'll be back in what will seem like a second. Where'd he go? Is he hiding? Where is he? Come on, stop hiding. There he is. And here's the rest of the forecast. Oh, you want to go out the door too, Baloo? Okay, we'll go out the door in a second. Let me look at these viewer comments. Yeah, immediately is it's now 12:30, 5 hours later. Going to Mount Snow on Friday. Hopefully it will get colder and tighten up by then. Oh yeah, it will. It's going to be really icy. Nebraska Knoll Bowling, Nebraska Knoll blog. Yeah, I am familiar with Cody and his sugaring, and we got to go visit there. Stratus Clouds yesterday, heading to ski for the first time with trepidation. Better than freezing, but hit ice face after downpours, then gone. Ice face. I think that's what he's calling white face. So yeah, viewer comments are welcome. The door was locked, Baloo. I had to unlock the door. Come on, let's go out the door. Come on, Baloo. What do we see? All right. We're several stories up, and more like, what do we hear? We hear dripping. And I don't have my wireless lav on, so when I zoom in, I gotta talk louder, otherwise you won't hear me. So where were you when the first raindrops of the year 2025 fell above 3,000 feet in northern Vermont? At the summits, it is raining. Clear hydrometeors in that fog. The fog isn't anything but clear. I was way up there. I was up around 2,500 feet, so we did a bunch of runs this morning before the rain came in, and now it's the first and warmest storm we've had in 2025. Can you hear me now? I think you can. Baloo? Are you going to choose to come in or out? My dad would say, in or out, close the door. Look, you can see his breath. So that's what happens. Yeah, the ground is so cold. You get this fog and you can see your breath. with the dew point going into the 30s. So this weather, it is a superstorm. We talked about that already, right? With the central pressure down around 980 millibars. That's about 28.9 on your barometer at home. And so far, the wind is not in New England. We still have some cold air damming, so the wind is going up over the top of it. But it is going to mix down tonight and tomorrow, and the rainfall should be less than an inch up here. And this morning, I went and measured the snowpack up there, and took a core sample. And if all the snow were to melt at one time, which is not going to happen, there's 21 inches of snow, 21 inches of rain or water equivalent in the 72 inches of snow that's on the ground at 3,000 feet. Less snow there than at 4,000 feet where there's more than 90 inches of snow. And so it's raining, and it's going to be snowing again here within 24 hours. So between now and then, I think all your local meteorologists have this pretty well covered. I want to go to the big picture. There are real big fish on the line, in the lineup, with these storms coming in off the Pacific one after another. And just as quickly as this one exits, we have another one already coming on. So let's just go right to the GFS, which is just about as good as anything else. I mean, all the models are waffling. And we'll show you the initialization this morning at 12 Zulu. That's 7 a.m. our time. And there's the low pressure center, 981 millibars over Chicago. Blizzard on the north side, severe weather on the south side, many reports of tornadoes. And that is a weakening system. Watch, we'll put it into motion. The primary low goes to our north with the wind ramping up tonight and just as quickly easing out tomorrow, as there's going to be a redevelopment in the Gulf of Maine, and that is going to bring in backside cold wind and snow for our Friday. Again, this will be about the 5th Friday in a row following a Thursday storm where it gets windy and cold with upslope snow. And look at the central pressure on a secondary storm that's forming in the Gulf of Maine, down to 969 millibars on Friday at 11 a.m. That's 15Z. That is sort of incarnation of a superstorm as it moves into the Atlantic Ocean. It's getting weaker into Canada, but then strengthens east of New England, and that is pretty close to blizzard conditions in eastern Maine on Friday morning. While it's just windy and cold, typical Friday for us in the rest of New England with upslope snows. All right, and then there's a storm over the middle, the western part of the nation where it's snowing like crazy around Utah and such. And now let's put this into motion. It looks like another kind of clipper trying to come at northern New England over the weekend, but it looks like the wind is going to die down. It looks like a pretty nice weekend with temperatures bottoming out again Sunday morning and then warming up quickly on Sunday afternoon. There's going to be another low going to our north. And let's stop it there Sunday, because we've been talking about how back on Sunday and Monday a few days ago, there was going to be a storm in Canada and a storm off to the south of New England, and would they phase? There have been a couple of teases where it does phase, but now it looks like the northern stream system is just a wave on an Arctic front there north of the Great Lakes, and then that storm off of North Carolina. Last night's run had that snowing in North Carolina on Sunday, but now it looks like a low that's going to go off kind of flat and kind of fast with just a real cold rain nor'easter type situation for the mid-Atlantic. So really tough and low confidence forecast once we get out just to Saturday I failed to mention the Saturday system again. They're coming so fast and furious. So like I did yesterday, I have to rewind back to that Friday where I had that 969 and we were watching something coming out of the Rockies. So I'm going to rewind this again so we can see what happens Saturday. A replay, they do it in sports all the time. And that low coming out of the Rockies, watch it come into confluent flow and dampen and just fizzle to nothing going off to the south of New England Saturday into Saturday night with us on the cold side, and that gets us back to where we were a moment ago with that Sunday system off to our south. And let's just keep it going now. That storm goes out to sea, and now we have this wave going north of us next Monday. It's going to get really cold and really warm on Monday into Tuesday before that front sags south, and now we have a stationary front in northern New England. What happened to that big warm-up for the middle of next week? There's another massive storm coming across the nation. It looks like it's going to try and dwarf almost the central pressure anyway on the storm we had now coming in next Wednesday and Thursday. So if this all plays out at the Canadian border, places from here, Mount Mansfield, north to about Katahdin, it could just be snowing on and off almost all of next week, while southern New England goes into the 40s and 50s until this storm is right on our doorstep now. 240 hours is out to March 14th, 7 a.m., March 14th. What is that, a Friday? Oh boy, I kind of forgot there's so many storms in here, but there's a 1027 high to our north, with this storm trying to run along the south coast of New England again next Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. I think this is Saturday at 7 a.m. Wow, 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 wow. That is a huge change from what it had yesterday and the last couple days, where it was supposed to be a major warm up here the second half of next week. And now it looks like there could be some blocking, and that may end up being a more wintry type, also superstorm potential. Anything that comes out of the Central Plains with a pressure around 980 millibars qualifies in the superstorm department, even though that classic one back in, 1993, I think, came up the East Coast. This one just happens to be hitting in the middle of the nation. So a lot to watch here for sure. And there's the snow plow. Finally, he's like, this one's not snow. I'm getting a little break. They were plowing snow this morning at about 3 a.m. And we will be snowing again by tomorrow at this time. And even though I didn't really look at it, I will show the coast-to-coast North America snow. We're halfway through week 20 in a row of coast-to-coast North America snow. And there it is. And there's our backside snow coming in this weekend. My guess for up here is probably 5 to 10 inches. And ice face probably gets about 3 inches. And Mount Snow just gets a coating, and it will be icy by Friday afternoon with that cold wind. And then next week, the snow's just coming across the nation. Deep snows both west, central, all of Canada, and in the northeast in the next 10 days. This is a 240-hour snowfall forecast. All right. That's enough of the weather for now. The Nthrn. Oh, look at that ice right there. All this stuff is going to be falling. That piece of ice right there. Fascinating. Shapes. And the crews were here cleaning the snow off the roofs. Remember that a month ago when I was here on Valentine's Day, but there's a lot more snow on the roof again now. But it looks like it's not that deep, so they've done their job. And hopefully there are no serious ice dams at your house. And it's going to refreeze solid by tomorrow night. All right, so the Nthrn yesterday, watching the day evolve from just perfect groomers into snowy afternoon, and it snowed right into the evening. So here's our Nthrn from yesterday. Was day 64 in a row with snow, and this is day 1 in a row with rain up there. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Talk to you then. Well, here's the Nthrn. I think I'm about the 34th chair. I'm the last one in the first group. It's 8:02, and the line is groomed, so I might try and do that, because this could be the last best midwinter type groomer this season before the rain comes in tomorrow. Am I gonna get up there today? Jury's still out. Oh yeah, it looks soft. That no one behind me on the lift. Got 5 runs over there by 9 o'clock. Now, over here, you start the day over on fresh groomers at 9:07. What a day. 9:07 a.m. all by myself on sunny Spruce, having done 5 runs over there, 10,000 feet by 9 a.m. Start the day over again. What a day. There's one person about 5 chairs ahead of me, and there's one person 5 chairs behind me. I did A-ride, centerline, nosedive, lift line actually, and then prairie marl. Last week it did rain up here, but it was mostly just below, say, 2,000 feet. So everything above 2,500, 3,000 feet still has not seen any rain in the year 2025. Amazing. 65-day run without any summit rain. And I think today's probably the last day. It's going to precipitate here, but it still may be snow up top before last chair. And very grateful to be able to be here for it. And it's a race day. 11 o'clock start for the ski bum race day. Up and down Spruce Village. 3 o'clock. Going back out for last laps. And day 64 in a row. New England snow. It's about to be rain here. Notch. Yeah, very different than the over easy this morning. The sky is falling and there's no snow on the cars, even though it's been snowing a little bit for the last couple of hours, indicating, yep, we are into a thaw. It may last 48 hours. I think I underestimated the duration of this temperature going above freezing here around 2,000 feet. Texture checking. The texture looks good. Problem is, the branches are too low. How do these branches get so low? Yep. It's 3:30, Tuesday, March 4th. It's snowing above 3,500 feet. It's the last time it's just snowing here for 2025. Star glades, by the way, in case you were wondering. Standing up in the trees. Hi. You see, I'm really deep down, I'm a tree hugger. I love trees and all kinds of weather. 10:04, last day. Last lift ride of nothing but snow above this level in the Green Mountains. The trees need water too. Right. It's still slippery though, still slippery. With the visibility about a half mile. I think it's accumulating a ½ inch an hour right now. Let's check the picnic tables at the Octagon. Almost no wind right here. And here's that southerly wind, the warm air advection, warm and cold, making the snow more and more. 3:55, McAvoy in the house.
Going down the toll road. Yeah. Goes up and over.
Wait a minute, isn't McAvoy on the injured reserve list? Is he playing tonight? No, he's up here skiing. Used to walk up these stairs, now you just kind of walk over them. And here's how much snow since about noontime. It stopped. It snowed pretty hard there around 1 o'clock for a minute. And then it stopped. And now it's snowing again. Of course, it's not really accumulating, so how do you do this? Do the kick estimate? Kick estimate. ½ inch. Yeah, so it's imminent. The rain level's coming up to this level. probably for close to 24 hours. It's not going to rain for 24 hours, but it is going to give us a layer that we'll remember and hopefully have to dig down to in a couple of weeks. More and more. Okay, one more texture check right here because I know you want to know. And that looks more like 3/4 of an inch. Andre, this is the first run we did, well, together this year. I think it was about November 18th or so. It was groomed perfectly last night. I'd really like to see how that winch cat works. And no, I didn't ski all day. I wouldn't be able to do this. But I made it my last run today. And it's snowing pretty good. Probably got about 5/8 of an inch. Aha! There is snow on the car. Love when that happens. It's changed pretty much in the last 40 minutes. A little bit colder before it gets a little bit warmer. That's how I'm skiing today. Take T-Rex for a walk by the rink and see how that's going. Happy people. Happy customers. Okay, happy too. Yeah. Here it comes. March being March. 5 p.m. update. Yeah, it's dripping, but it's flaking too. Looks like we've had 1.5 inches or so. We're at the base of Mount Mansfield, mostly since 4 o'clock, but it's been snowing on and off since noon. Our last hurrah in the 64-day in a row with no rain at the summit and snow somewhere in New England every single day. 5:40, distinct bottom of the cloud right over there, and just in the last few minutes the big fat snowflakes turned over to some light snaying, almost called it a snowy rain, and it's coming straight down. We hear dripping. So that's probably it for our snow, but we probably picked up pretty close to 1.5 inches, probably 2 up on the mountain. Good snowman snow here in the last couple of hours. And next up, the warm front and real raindrops off and on through Thursday morning. How much rain? Nope, getting sideways right there for us. Thank you. It's slick. So we're calling it a day. And Doug freed up the flag in Weymouth. I don't know how you did it, Doug. And thank you for taking shots of the updated Weymouth Big Dig. So we can play a time lapse from Weymouth, which I haven't looked at, so I'm not sure how you freed it up. It looked like it was a pretty nice day there for a while. Thank you. And also from Dennis, where the day started with the ice on Fallon's Pond and some frost. Probably done with the ice on Fallon's Pond, although it's going to get pretty cold again next week. Thanks for watching. Drip, drip, drip.